The ball starts down here. Ball went to the corner. I pass, and I basket cut. And if there's someone in front of me, that's no mistake. From over here, I can go here, here, and here. Back pick. And then I turn around. Every time you pass the ball, you're looking for offense. After you help a teammate, you're looking for offense again. And the cycle repeats itself. So, to warm up, here we go. This is going to happen a lot. To warm up, we pass and cut. So you're starting with the retention and transfer. Your players are learning spacing, ball movement, play movement. You already started the offense with a pass and cut. Any questions about layer one? Okay. No questions?
Coach, I just had
Coach.
Okay,
Yes.
go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, Coach Tiny. This is Dudes. Is the pass, ball screen, and cut is part of this layer, or that is just kind of like a progression of this layer?
The layer is very good question. The layer is pass and cut.
Right.
But when this started, when Coach Torvald invented this for the first time, it has 17 layers. Later, it evolved to 20 because they added up the screens. Now, in the latest version, the one that I'm translating to Spanish right now, has only 10. But layer one, pass and cut, has 14 options. Because when we pass and cut, pass, cut, this is an opportunity. Okay? I can be shooting a layup, or I can be practicing a floater or a pull-up jumper. Okay? So already we talk about two options just with this cutter. When this guy comes here, this guy comes over here. Something that we teach on layer one of the pass and cut is the read line. The read line action means that when this player is coming over here, he finds the defensive player over the three-point line whenever. And this is a rule, not an option, a rule. Whenever a defensive player steps on the three-point line, we basket cut. I didn't say cut, I said basket cut. Your players have to understand that you're cutting to score, not to go through the motions.
Okay.
See, I've had players that they cut and they're looking to the floor. They have the hand out, they have the target, but they're not looking at the ball. 40 years ago, I used a technique that they don't let me use no more. Whenever one of my players didn't look at the ball, I ordered to pass to their nugget. A couple of balls in your head and you will always pay attention. But now they get concussions, and so I don't do that no more.
Okay.
And the consequence when you don't pay attention, I explain to every single player of mine, clinics, camps, practices, I'm a very sensitive Puerto Rican. If you don't pay attention to me, you will break my heart. You break my heart, you do Puerto Rican push-ups. And we only do 2 because I'm not developing Navy SEALs. I just need a reinforcement. Puerto Rican push-ups improve your memory. Okay? Especially when every single player on the squad is going to do them. That's called peer pressure.
Peer pressure. I'm
doing push-up because you don't pay attention? Woo! Wait until we go to the lockers.
Coach,
so the read line will
Right.
be the next action that we teach in the pass and cut. So layer 1 would have pass and cut, the circle movement that everyone feels the open spot being available, and the read line. Okay? So you're developing now the read line, you're not touching the ball. So what are you teaching? Decision making. This is decision training. That's basketball IQ. I move and I'm a threat without the ball in my hands. And that read line cut, that back door sucks defense. So we have a circular motion. Guess what? Another threat came in. So look at the type of stress you're creating on defense. Someone pass and cut, first threat. Someone came behind and did the read line. And then someone fills the open spot. The defense needs to be aware in today's basketball, because you have so many things. You will never be able to cover everything. Offense needs more time than defense because it's more complicated. So unless you train your defense, there are going to be a lot of opportunities. But remember what I told you, read and react helps you teach defense. After you have taught the basic move, you add up defense. When I want the defense to be work, I tell my offense, no shots. Or I will take the 5 players on offense and tell them, we're going to do 3, 4, 5, 6 passes before we shoot. So the defense doesn't know. But it forces your defensive player to contain, to help, rotate, communicate, move on their pass, not the catch. All these things, you cannot have expectations if you don't teach them. Don't expect your player to do something. Your players will never do what you say. Your players will do what you emphasize. So what's important to you, the coach? That's why practice planning is so important. Because that's your opportunity. You win your games in practice. You're no magician. You cannot invent things in a game and expect them to work. They have to be practiced. So this is a tool to practice. So we want to layer 1, pass and cut, and an additional action, a complement, the read line. Questions?
Coach, not
Yes.
the first one. Just wanted to know that what is actually the quick? Not no explanation, Coach. I just wanted really to what is the quick hitters that you use for the read and react? The special. I mean,
Okay, let me explain. I'm going to show you the quick hitter against zone. Okay, this is very good. It works a lot, and it's a nightmare for the zone defense. It's called nail and flank. The thing is, for the nail and flank to be effective, you need first to know the other actions. Because when the quick hit is not available, you still can't get into the flow of your offense. Okay? But a quick hitter means that we're looking for a quick basket with 1 or 2 passes. So against a zone, I'm going to go 4 out. I will put the defense later. First, I want you to show you how it works. It's a zone. In zone, usually they don't deny the wing, but they're going to leave a huge hole in the middle. So, ball in the air, this player is going to the short corner. This player is coming here. So now, the name of the offense is nail and flank. This is the flank. This is the nail. Okay? While this is happening, this player is moving over here, and this player is coming over here. Remember that we said it's a quick hitter. So right now the rotation changes because it's a quick hitter. So now this guy has two options. I can hit the flank. If I hit the flank, this guy runs like fire is on his ass. Okay? It's attacking the basket. So we have 1, 2, 3 threats. Okay? Let's go back. Instead of hitting the flank, we hit the nail. This guy comes up, cuts to the basket. Corner. It's a zone. Who's playing over there? No one. Because you have a guy attacking the basket and the ball is here. The defense is collapsing to stop a high percentage shot. Okay? Let's go back to the beginning. Who's going to go inside depends which of these two guys is the outside shooter. The best shooter from those two is going to go outside. So we pass. Goes to the flank. Goes to the nail. If I hit the flank, the player in the baseline, this guy cuts to the basket. If I hit the nail, this guy cuts the basket. He will be filling out whatever spot was left open. Okay, so right now you have over there 3 options. But look what happens on the weak side. This player comes over here and he calls middle. And what he's doing is a back pick for these guys. Skip pass, 3-point shot. So you have 2 options, 3 options on the strong side with the nail and flank. And we have a back pick and a skip pass on the weak side. And when the ball comes over here, if someone hustles, like it happened in the finals, semifinals, someone left completely open a player over here. I think it was Toronto, the one that had the player open. This guy curls in. So you had 3 options on that side, 2 on the weak side. 5 offensive options at the same time. You put there 1-3-1. Let's see with defense. Tell me, what zone do you want?
1-2-2 zone, coach.
1-2-2. Okay. So we have someone containing the ball, someone front of the post, weak side, sacks to the middle.
Yeah.
The ball goes to the wing. We go there. We go in. Okay, with that pass, these guys pop over here. I have to react. This guy comes here. So if I hit this guy here, I cut,
You get cut. And then
I replace.
replace.
If they did a good job on this side, look what happens now. Who's getting there? This guy? Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Maybe in Disney World. If you don't have a threat, we don't announce it. But when that ball comes over here, we have this guy attacking the basket. And the thing why this is a quick hitter, in the layers I'm going to be talking now, if this guy attacks the baseline, this guy moves up. If this guy attacks the middle, he goes over here.
All right.
Okay? So the nail on flag is a very good offense against zone. It's simple and it's quick attacking. There's no fakes. There's no V cuts. We don't use V cuts in read and react. You go. You go. We might have L cuts, but it's an angle to create spacing. But we don't waste time. Like I told before, the triple threat. This is a nugget I'm going to give for free. Triple threat. Please, please, if you ever play against me, use it. Use a triple threat against me. I'm going to have fun with you. The principle behind is a good one. I catch the ball and I assume a position of a triple threat. That is time consuming. You think triple threat, but when you catch the ball, you either pass, attack, or shoot. There's no time for pausing. When you catch, you either pass, drive, or shoot.
Shoot.
But if you assume a position, now the defense reacted with you. If you stop the action to assume the position, and if you teach good defense means that you move on the pass. Your defensive players do not do this. The ball's moving, I'm moving. That needs to be practiced. And that's why you use the shell drill. Move on the pass, not on the catch. And your offense, when they catching the ball, if they see the defense doing this, they go. What do you teach your player when there's a closeout? Our mission is, and that's how we train since very young, if someone runs at you, smile and go. If you have a defensive player running at you, they cannot stop that. It's very easy to practice, to prove it. Okay, have two players side by side. Okay, and now we're going to do a race. Okay, the defensive player is going to run backwards, and this one's going to run straight up. Who's going to win? You're running backwards? You're going to end up on your ass. Well, when we have closeout, most of our kids turn around or hesitate. The same principle we use with our press offense. If you see press, smile. That means a layup. 80% of how effective a matchup press is depends on fear. That's why the presses are so good in 12 and under, because you don't have enough ball handling players. And that's why there's so many leagues that they don't let you press when you're 10 and under. because you're not practicing nothing. It's like the coaches that play zones with the younger kids. It's easier for the coach. It's not best for the player. For you to be good on defense, you need man-to-man principles to be really well known. Questions?
Any questions, guys? I guess they're enjoying, coach.
Okay, now we said layer 1. We're going to go to layer 2. For layer 2, I'm going to start with a player inside. If I walk 5 out, this player here, or whatever your inside guy is, an inside guy is someone that you decide. Doesn't mean sometimes my inside guy is my best shooter, my best 3-point shooter. Why, coach? Let me show you. Green is my best sniper, my best outside shooter. Start here. The third layer is dribble at. So when I dribble at someone, this player basket cut, circle move, fill the open spot. When I get over here, this guy is gonna attack the baseline. Okay? That's layer number 6. Attack the baseline. Woo! Who's gonna play defense on my sniper? That's why he started there. And if he's being defended by a big guy, very few big guys come out. So I have my best shooter completely open on the corner. And guess where does he practice his shots in our drills?
Corner.
Because our drills have retention and transfer. That's his home. He's extremely happy there. But me as a coach have to create that environment in practice. When I'm talking to my players, when I'm teaching, okay, I have to make it in a way that they get. My body language has to be a positive one. If I want to develop a shooter, and every time she misses a shot, I go, guess what? She's going to be scared poopless. And that's why also my practices are not private. I have rules. Okay? You cannot interrupt. You cannot interfere. But one of the biggest challenges that we have is the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have that kid for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, and then he's going to get into the car. And then he's going to get home. And those are the parents. If the parents drink your Kool-Aid, you're good. If they're trying to live their fantasies to their kid and they get the education from TV, you have a nightmare in your hands. But when the parents can come to the practice and they see you work and they see you explain and you work with all the players, so you don't have favorite players. Everyone gets a chance. In our program, we have 3 basic rules with the parents. I don't talk about playing time. I don't talk about somebody else's kid. And I don't talk about strategy. But your kid can ask me all 3 things. So you can ask your kid to tell her, come and ask Coach Tiny about this and this, and I will tell her. Plus, you are in my practice, so you're watching what we're doing. To improve the work of the coaches, we do certain things. My assistant coaches keep track of the minutes that I use when I speak. My body language. Our practices, our games are videotaped. So after the game, when I'm checking the huddle and the game, I'm also checking myself. What were my reactions? When I call a timeout, am I whining or am I giving information? Is the information relevant? And am I using the same information that I use in practice? Our players, many times, are a reflection of us. So that's why it's so important that you prepare yourself, that you're always a student of the game. Okay? Now that we had so much time away, it was the perfect opportunity for us to research, to learn. How can I be more effective? It really gives me testicular gases when I hear a coach, I don't have this, I don't have that. Hey, you're a coach, you're a teacher. What you don't have, develop. That's an opportunity, not a problem. Be creative. Research. Okay? Very few coaches have the luxury of recruiting specific talent. But with what you have, what do you control? As a coach, what do you control? And that's something you're going to be teaching to your players. Are your players getting the message of this is not a problem, this is an opportunity? When we teach the layups, okay, I have 3 targets every season. Make more layups, okay, less turnovers, and improve our defense. So when you start teaching shooting or improving your shots, the first shot they take is close to the basket. You need elevation. There's 2 things you need for the shot: direction and elevation. So we start shooting layups with the left hand on the right side. Coach, left hand on the right side? Yes. And on the left with your right hand. But coach, that's not what they, okay, let's go back to what they're teaching you. How do you make a layup when you're a young kid? Because when you're older, you can dunk. We have a rule. You either use the backboard or dunk the ball. But if you're 5'5", you're not dunking. So we need to use the backboard. So it doesn't matter which hand you use if you don't hit the target. When you go to Division I and higher, the coaches don't care about the hand. They care about the target. And in today's basketball, if you use your left on the right side, you're faster getting to the basket and you're putting pressure in the timing of the defensive player. Remember what I told you before about obsolete fundamentals? What are you teaching? The shooting. How many coaches still teach square to the basket? Okay, Google Harden, Curry, Larry Bird, Kobe, Carmelo, LeBron. Check when they take a jump shot, if they're square to the basket. No. They're aligned. They have their hip and the shoulders in line with the basket. You can start square, but the moment that you're releasing the ball, your hips are moving because you need to line up. When I learned to play basketball was 1962. The coaches that were teaching learned to play basket in the 50s. In the 50s, you shoot with 2 hands or on the hand. That's why you square to the basket. But we have too many traditional. What's the reason behind of what you're doing? If you're square to the basket, you're going to end up with a chicken wing. Yeah, I can't force this. And then you get an incredible amount of tension on your shooting shoulder. Tension is the biggest enemy of a shooter. One of the advantages that I have working 16 years in the NBA is that I could see the real shooters. I had a chance to sit down and talk with Ray Allen. He doesn't square to the basket. I saw Stephen Curry working in Madison Square Garden with a shooting coach. All these guys, these millionaires, have shooting coaches. They didn't become good shooters in the NBA. They got into the NBA because they had good coaches before. There are exceptions, like Kawhi Leonard. He sucked when he got into the NBA and your jump shot. But the Spurs, the San Antonio Spurs, have one of the best shooting coaches in the world. Got sidetracked. Going back, second layer, feed the post. So these are the options when we feed the post. We pass, and when we pass, we Laker cut. That's an L cut. Again, layer 2 is feeding the post. One of the options is the Laker cut. If I cut in a straight line, I'm going to be bringing my defense to the post. But by doing a Laker cut, I'm taking it away. So not only I might have a layup, now I created some space. That guy can turn around and drive behind me and do what is called a draft. Like in NASCAR, when a car goes behind the other one to take advantage of the draft. The Laker cut can be low or it can be high. Here we go again. So you had two options there. Laker cut low, Laker cut high. Two options. Another option, I can pass. Let's say that's your sniper. So I'm going to cut and call relocate. And now have an outside shot. When I give him the ball, what do we do when we pass?
Cut.
What was layer 1?
Cut.
Bingo. And at the same time, we have circle movement. We're sucking the defense in with the cuts. So if you have outside shooters, you're going to have more opportunities. Multiple opportunities, multiple options with one pass. So Laker cut high, Laker cut low, relocate. Their option, pop. And what do we do when we pass? We had a layup, we have a shot. So we had a player executing an action and the teammates at the same time rotating and making themselves available. So layer 2 is filling the post. Any question? If we're playing against man-to-man, we have a quick hitter here. If we're playing man-to-man and we're 4 out and the point guard sees an opportunity to do layer 2, feed the post, backdoor, outside shot. That would be a quick hitter. Let's go 5 out. So we had layer 1, pass and cut. Layer 2, fit the post. Layer 3 is dribble at. Anytime that someone takes a dribble at you, you will basket cut. Rule. The player with the ball is the conductor. The rest of the players is the orchestra. So I take a dribble in his direction, I basket cut. But that's why we have to explain our players not to zigzag. Because if someone dribbles here, that's layer 4, dribble penetration. It's not layer 3, dribble at. So you can have the player going here, going, no. Make up your mind. You're going to the wing or you're attacking the basket. So that's why we don't practice yo-yo. The purpose of the dribble is to get to a spot, to create an opportunity. The best point guards have the ball in their hands the least amount of time. The best point guards has the ball in their hands the least amount of time. If you're dribbling, we're not scoring. That's why you cannot watch LeBron and see the 600 dribbles before he does something with the ball. In point guard college, they call that P dribbling. You're peeing yourself because you ain't moving. Okay? The purpose of the dribble is to improve the position for a pass or for you to get a shot. So when we're teaching dribbling, what are you teaching? Okay? What change of directions are you teaching? Where are you practicing dribbling? Does it have transfer? One of the obsolete drills, the zigzag dribbling. Just tell me, think, when was the last time that you saw a basketball game, someone zigzag? Tell me. So if no one uses it, why are you practicing that shit? We don't have enough time. So there are better drills that you can use to practice defense and to practice ball handling, that they're closer to a game situation. So you can develop retention, the right mechanic, the right habit, and transfer. How am I going to be using that? In ball handling, I teach 4 moves: crossover, double crossover, hesitation, jab step, and pull back. That's it. If you can drill between your legs or behind your back, great, but I don't teach that. How many of you saw play Allen Iverson? If you haven't, please Google it. The most deadly crossover in history. He had it. And one of his secrets was that he was going full speed to your sternum. And the moment you took one little step backward, he crossed it over. And you become a pretzel and fall on your butt. I saw Michael Jordan fall on his butt. Okay? So when we teach something, make sure that what you're spending time on will give you back in the game. It's an investment on your part. Okay? So, look what happened with dribble at. When I dribble at him, we're looking for that layup. Do you remember the second part of layer 1? What action did we have on layer 1 to complement the pass and cut? Ding, 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 ding. Remember? Read line. So when I dribble at, these guys coming here. And we have the same situation. I can basket cut depending on what he does. If he stays here, I can cut in front of him. If he tries to deny, I have the back cut. And it's very simple to practice. You can practice with only 2 players. I dribble at, up, and cut.
Oh,
And this guy can have a layup, a floater, a pull-up jumper. So you decide what shots are you teaching. Okay. That was layer 3. Layer 4. Let me know if anyone has questions. Layer 4 is dribble penetration. If I dribble penetrate with my right hand, the circle move is going to be in direction of the drive. Right hand drive, circle move. With the first dribble, baseline cut for a dish. Dish means bounce pass. Pitch. Okay? Dribble penetration. You have a pass inside. You have a pitch. And you have the safety. 1, 2, 3, 4. With 2 dribbles to the middle. 4 options. 4 opportunities. Let's say he drove or she drove with her left hand. With the first dribble, these players saw that the ball handler, the conductor, is using the left hand. So I'm here, I cut, pitch, safety, fill the open spot. Again, 4 offensive options. You have to drill it to get the retention. So your players get into the habit of he drive with the left hand, whoever's in the baseline have to cut quickly. Whoever's in the wing goes pitch. Whoever's coming on the right side, if I'm driving with my left hand, is my safety. And they have to call it. Pitch, dish, safety. When you say out loud, you improve your learning. We're developing the basketball IQ. All these players are reading the action of the conductor and reacting in a specific way. If I'm in the corner, I'm the player looking for the dish, the bounce pass. If I'm the player in the wing on strong side, I'm looking for the pitch pass. If I'm coming from the weak side on the wing, I'm becoming the safety. A player that often is going to be open because as soon as the ball goes into the paint, we teach on defense to collapse, to strangle the paint. So that's one way that we can use to fit that good outside shooter that we have. Any questions? That was layer 4. Layer 1, pass and cut. Layer 2, fit the post. Layer 3, dribble at. Layer 4, dribble penetration. Layer 5. This one is very complicated. For this one, we're going to try 3 out. Let's say we have 2 players here that have less experience. Okay? Maybe the players that you have that are a little bit overweight. Okay? We have them inside. Layer 5 is 2 actions, 2 options, and their reactions to the conductor, the player with the ball. Let's say I pass and I basket cut, circle movement. The player there decides to go layer 6. Layer 6 is attacking the baseline. So when I drive, safety, 90, 45, pitch. Let's do it again. The ball is in the wing. I decide to attack the baseline. The reaction of both posts, whenever the ball goes baseline, is to move to the elbow. This one is called 90 because 90 degrees from the ball. This one is called 45 because it's at 45 degrees from the ball. And they call it. With the action of those 2 players, you're opening a gap and you're getting out of the way of your driver. Let's say this is your speedy point guard, the aggressive, good dribbler. Well, instead of having this guy in his way and his defensive player, he moved up to a high percentage shot. And we did it on both sides at the same time if we have 2 posts. Okay? Let me show you the action. With 5 out. I have a player in the corner. And for me to take advantage of the real estate means big open space. I'm going to take 1 dribble in his direction. What do we do when someone dribbles at me?
Move up.
Cut.
Cut. So I cut. From there, I basket cut. I drive, attack the baseline. Safety, 90, 45, pitch. And by the way, that's layer 6. Attacking the baseline is layer 6. Whenever the ball goes baseline, you're going to have a safety, 90, 45, and pitch. That's my favorite option of the offense because it's very hard to take away all 5 opportunities. You have a driver attacking the basket. You're going to have a safety that's going to be open, a player here at 90 degree, player 45. So they collapse and help. high percentage shot, and a pitch. And one of the passes that you practice in this offense is from out here. You jump out of bounds and pitch that pass. That passing lane will always be open because you are behind the backboard. So it's something that we do practice. And when the defense sees you going out of bounds, they don't care about you most of the time. So everyone's paying attention to that crazy nut jumping out of bounds, leaving open a shooter on the weak side. So those are the 6 options, the 6 layers. 1, pass and cut. 2, feed the post. 3, dribble at. 4, dribble penetration. Okay. 5, the basic slides. I'm going to go back to the basic slides. Just in case I want, not just in case, I went too fast with layer 5. So we talk about what happens when they drive. We pass, basket cut. But let's say that this guy decides to attack over the top. So whenever the ball goes over the top, we go short corner. So now the defense is already, it's again on stress. If I'm going to contain, I'm going to leave these players in a high percentage shot. So layer 5 is the basic post slides, and there are only 2. So when you're short on time and you have players with limitations, they will be perfectly. This is the only thing they have to learn. If the ball goes baseline, I move up. If the ball goes over the elbows, I go short corner or flank. And then layer 6 means this. Whenever the ball goes baseline, I need a safety. 90, 45, and a pitch. Whenever the ball goes baseline, we use an advanced slide. Let me explain. Between these 2 players, who's closer to the corner? The post that is in the elbow or the guy on top of the key? The post. So that's why I sent this guy. And if this is a 3-point shooter, he goes there. He doesn't have to come all the way down. So you have the threat. So layer 6 is attacking the baseline dribble penetration. And you will have a safety, elbow shots, and weak side shot. But now I'm going to show you how we practice this. Before we go, questions? I have explained so good,
Yeah,
there's no
I know.
question, or you guys don't understand nothing?
No, coach, pretty much. Because me, I use a different play, but I try to compare it to the pistol hurry up offense, and this
The
has
thing with this play is that, again, you don't need specifics. And the other thing is, this is not scripted.
Yeah.
If you have a play that is the same options over and over, you're one-dimensional.
Mhm.
But when you get scouted, they will find a way to take one of those pieces out of the puzzle so you don't have flow on your offense. With the read and react, you cannot do that because it's not one-dimensional. I don't need an outstanding point guard for the offense to work. And if I'm teaching young players, I'm giving the opportunity to all 5 of them. Because as you pass and cut, you'd exchange positions. So even your post is going to have the ball on top of the key. You're developing complete players.
Yeah.
This is a big challenge for the programs. As a program, what is your goal? What is your philosophy? Mine is teach life skills and self-worth through basketball. But we train and we compete to win. But we focus on the process. The championship, the winning, the results are consequences. If you flip it, you will not last. You don't have a long-range objective. The problem with a lot of young coaches is that you get blinded by the winning. And you look for the easier way to win now. For a program,
Long term.
you're going to have a lot of loopholes and gaps. And that's how we lose players to other sports. Because the kids that we have now, I know the kids that I had 40 years ago, where you got developed on the streets. You play pickup games. You learn to get hit, to fall on the floor. You play on black top and concrete. You're nowhere woods. Now some kids, coach, I'm sweating. So it's up to us coaches to find ways to toughen them up, but develop the basketball IQ.
Right.
The system that you're running, it gives the opportunity to your player to make decisions. It's the system teaching the teammates how to be aware of where the ball is and what are the angles for me to attack the basket. Or do I need the ball to move? That's the big picture. The problem is that you're going to have to work. But if you're a coach, you should not be allergic to working.
Right. Right.
And another thing, if you want guarantees, you better go to Best Buys. Because in coaching, there's no guarantees.
Right.
But this is a system that will exploit whatever strengths you have and will minimize the weaknesses. But in the long run, you're teaching to play. You're not teaching a play. 2 different things. To teach how to play or to teach a play. The drill that we use often is called 3 on the side. A lot of the drills that are used now in the NBA are called small-sided games, SSGs. Okay? And from this formation, and we start on the left side. When we overwork the left side, one thing that I teach on defense is push the ball to the left side. Push the ball to the left side. Because most teams are weak. Even though you might have a left-hand player, most of the players are right-handed. If you have 3 or 4 lefties on your team, you are a nightmare. They're very hard to play against. But this way, we get our kids used to that left side. So when you're working with your players, part of what you want to do is take them all out of their comfort zone and make them comfortable being uncomfortable. That's your responsibility as a coach. The ball starts here. Okay? We're going to be working multiple skills at the same time. So I pass. And whenever we pass, we cut. So I'm going to basket cut. I teach the player from day one, when you make that pass, you're cutting to score. Even though I'm not giving you the ball, your future playing time is going to be affected by your attitude and disposition. Okay, there's no such thing as a practice player and a game player. You're not a boy sometimes and a monkey sometimes. You have to make up your mind where you are. You pass, you cut. And when you cut, once you come here, this area here is called the decision box. The paint, we call it the decision box because you're making a decision once you're there. I'm going to flash to the wing. This player is going to pass. When he passes, he's going to cut down and up. He's not going to do this. This would be silly to do. The word that I will use other, but I already swear too much. That's not smart because you're not making the defense work at all.
Right. Too close.
But if I go deep, I'm making them work. And then I flash up. I never play low post because limits your options. If you're so low, you end up always behind the back. I use middle to middle high post. So we have more options. Once the ball is here, let's practice the Laker cut. So I pass and a basket cut and go to the corner. I pass, Laker cut. Let's start all over again. Here on the side, we're going to be working the Laker cut. We're working spacing, ball movement, play movement. You're practicing passing and catching the ball. All skills that you're going to be using in the game. Nothing that you did here is for looks.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball is not synchronized swimming or gymnastics. They don't give you points for level of difficulty or for being pretty. The ball starts in the corner. Pass. Basket cut. Wait. Pass. Basket cut. Post. So now I pass, I basket cut, and go to the pitch position. I'm available. I'm shot ready. That doesn't happen if you don't practice it. When I fit the post, I have multiple options. I can Laker cut low, I can Laker cut high, or I can relocate.
Right.
There's even one more option, and it's called the X cut. But right now, because of the number of players that we have here, it's not available. The X cut will mean I go high to make a back pick, and then I cut to the basket. All that from fitting the post, layer 2. So you practice here, layer 1 and layer 2 in the same drill. Another option. Let's go for layer 3. Same thing. Went to the wing, the post, and now the player with the ball here dribbles at. If I dribble at, basket cut. How many different things can we run from the wing?
You can do layer 4.
We can feed the post,
Mm-hmm.
or we can attack the baseline.
Baseline. Yeah.
That would be layer 6.
Layer 6.
When I
Baseline
attack
attack.
the baseline,
Baseline attack.
90 and pitch.
90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and pitch. 90 and
So with the same formation, 3 on the side, we have how many different options? And when we want to change this, and we want to start working the defense, so now we have 6 players involved. And we can do the same thing on the other basket. And you have 12 players working. And you're using a drill where you're practicing spacing, ball movement, player movement.
Player movement.
And you can be teaching on the defense, contain, move on the pass, talk, with the same drill, multiple things. When we do this, now you free time to work out of bounds plays, close out drills, press offense. And my suggestion is conditioning, do it on the floor. Okay?
Yeah.
In 5 days, I can teach these 6 layers plus pack line defense on 5 days because they complement each other.
Right.
The first 2 days, you're working on getting the kids out of their comfort zone, making them familiar to the terminology, the coaching cues. And whenever you want something to improve quickly, make sure to put a name. Many of the players that you have come to your practice because it's the only place where they hear something positive connected to their names. Many times that's why they're so eager in coming to your practice. It's the only moment, the only place where they get some recognition. When you're giving positive feedback, don't be generic, be specific. Don't say, good job, good job. Good job doing what? Be specific. Remember, your players don't do what you tell them, your players will do what you emphasize.
Nice.
You want the team to be really motivated? Put the name of one of your players to the drill.
Yeah.
The best player doing a specific drill, that's his name. Okay, we're going to do the Johnny. And that might be the safety play. And now every single player will want to have a play with his name on it. So you start building your team culture, your strength from inside. But when you are teaching, remember, your body language, your tone of voice, the information that you have. Read and react works, but not if you just I want to take this option and this option, I'm going to work. You're going to end up disappointed. I can, at any point, you can bring me an offense that you run that you like, and I can show you how read and react can give you the same things. Because this offense doesn't have a limitation. And I show you 5 out, 4 and 3 out, but there's other options. I can start like this.
For 1 high.
Exactly. Or I can start like this. And people are going to go crazy, but it's the same thing. I can go now with the latest flavor of the month, the zipper.
Or elevator.
You can do a box. You can run a double stack. You can do a double stack high. We flash out. We pass, cut, replace. The action doesn't change.
Feed the foes, feed the foes. Yeah, same thing.
But when you start with 5 out, that's the basic for you to teach the circle movement. That means replacing the open spots, the pass and cut, not watching.
Mhm.
If you want to watch, sit with me on the bench and you can watch from there. If you're on the court, we need action. And something that I tell to my players in practices and clinics, if you make a mistake, it's my fault. I'm the teacher. I have to do a better job teaching. If you're not paying attention, if I see you on the cell phone, something like that, well, there are going to be consequences. Questions?
Yeah, that was really inspiring, coach. Because most of when our kids, the one that watching here, coach, they were like they started from us when they were 8. So we're just making basic some plays, and we end up when we were on 12U, we're running the play like the high low. So pretty much like now when they're turning, like, before going to the high school, this is a good one to for them to understand, because normally the defense is gonna be a man defense or pressure and then zone on a 1-3-1. So
That's a very good point, because right now there's no
mhm,
difference between
yeah,
man or zone. Think about
mhm,
it. If you're playing man to man, on strong side, you're matching up and denying. What do you do on weak side? Float.
so,
If you're playing zone, what are you doing? On strong
side.
side, you deny, you pressure, and on weak side, you float. The traditional zone from the back in the day don't exist, especially with the 3-point shot.
Right.
Everything now is sagging and moving on the ball. But one of the things that I was watching the Puerto Rican Pro League last night, and it's incredible. One player dribbling and forcing the shot, and 4 players standing outside.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Run and gun. But at that level, there's a lot of talent. When you have talent, but if you are coaching in a different level, because I've seen teams 12 and under that they're killing, they're very good teams, but they're playing against inferior competition. When they find someone at the same level, now comes
They
down
have competition.
to solid defense and good execution. If you have a one-dimensional offense, all that the other team has to do is take 1 or 2 pieces out of your machine. If you are depending on one point guard and that guard gets tired or get hurt or get in foul trouble, now what? And as you go up in level of competition, you're going to get scouted. So if you are doing the same thing over and over, because I run read and react, but read and react has so many different things that I can do. Me as the head coach, I don't know. I have no idea what my point guard is going to do, because that's what we train her for.
Mm-hmm.
Make decisions. And then I might have my center in the point. I'm in transition. I don't need a secondary break. We run the read and react. The last thing that Coach Torbett put up, the read and react player system, is incredible, because you can see the college teams running the offense and the pass and cut run from a pass made from before half court. And that's one thing about that program. It's all done with live video of real NCAA games and top high school. So you can see the system being executed for real, not on a pretty board.
So, Coach Tani, during the game, all these layers can happen at the same time, right? I mean, it depends on, as you said, the conductor, or how he communicates with
Exactly.
his
The
teammates.
layer,
Yeah,
you can start from the beginning. The player on top, right from the beginning, he might start by driving out. He never went to layer one.
right.
He didn't pass and cut. He dribbled out. So he went to layer three. And as soon as someone's dribbling that direction,
Got it.
has
At the
to go.
base. At the
Yeah,
base.
yeah.
But you drilled that. So anytime someone takes a dribble in your direction, you're cutting to the basket, giving a target. It's
Right.
a reaction. That's the name of the system. Read and react. There's no judging. There's no thinking. There's no guessing. It's acting. And then it's not a one-trick pony. Because when I cut to the basket and I didn't touch those layers here, I didn't talk anything about back picks and multiple picks
Yeah.
and ball picks and picks to the post. So it adds up a whole layer for more advanced. I did tell you about the back pick when you go in direction of a spot that is already occupied. But this has more layers. There's a press offense with the read and react. There are out of bounds plays from read and react. The nail and flank, I made my own out of bounds against zone with that play. So the half court offense turns into a baseline out of bounds play. It gives you a lot of opportunities, but look about the passing. One of the skills that we need to teach is that jump stop on the paint. Well, here we have the opportunity. When we pass and cut, you can teach them to jump stop there. The floater is not a fancy shot. The floater is a good shot to have in your arsenal, especially when you have smaller players. Me having a small player, the first thing that I start drilling on them, being small is a weapon, not a liability. And I tell that to the parents too, because the parents have this bad way of communicating, say, oh, she's too small to play college. Who told you that? What expert coach told you that? You're jumping to conclusion based on what? If you play ball in what year? Basketball evolves. And it's up to us coaches to evolve too. I'm not teaching basketball the way I taught 45 years ago. And when I taught and coached in Puerto Rico, 4 of my players made the national team. One of them was named the best point guard in the world in a FIBA tournament. But I don't have those kids anymore. I don't have those parents anymore. Kids are not raised that way. So you have a choice. You can keep whining about the old days, or you can learn new skills as a coach so you can work better with whatever you have available.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach.
Well said,
Well,
Coach.
guys, that's what I had
Thank you
for
so
you
much.
guys.
Hey, Coach,
tonight.
this is so much.
If any of you have any questions, he has my email. Don't
The same.
hesitate to contact me.
Thank you so much, Coach. We've learned a lot, and
Thank you for
we
the
appreciate it. Oh, it's a pleasure to us, Coach. Thank you so much. I mean, you've
let's
touched,
hope that soon I can visit you guys and do this in
course.
person. Because
Yes,
with
Coach.
kids on the floor, it's more practical than with that.
We love to,
Pretty
Coach.
boring.
We're gonna schedule that after this. We're excited, Coach. Like I said, from the beginning, we're planning to do so. So, Coach, thank you so much, and
Looking forward for the opportunity.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you,
Good night.
Coach.
Coach
Good night,
Tiny.
Coach. Good night.
Good night,
Keep
guys.
safe.
All right. Thank you so much.